Hey guys, Dabu7 with an earthquake update. As you can see here on this map, 7.2 has struck in Myanmar. Now they're saying on USGS that this is a 7.0 at a depth of 131 kilometers. So it is pretty deep, not looking to be a very shallow quake. And to show you guys where it is situated here, on the global map, you can see it's been a nice sized quake here. Now, something I want to point out, something I always see around the time these big quakes hit, either before or after, is activity on these ridge lines, on these ridges. Sometimes down here in the teeth of the Serpent Head, and then all the way up this ridge, working their way up toward Iceland. And you can see here the northern mid-Atlantic ridge active. All these spots active within 24 hours of the big quake. Areas that we've seen big quakes recently but have been kind of quiet, in areas that we've also seen mass animal deaths, have been areas down here, like in the pinch of these plates. And it's been fairly quiet when it comes to Panama, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Mexico too, because we've seen quakes in the past that have hit all through here, even up through Mexico. And even parts of Texas, we've seen odd swarms in the Gulf of California. But as of right now, those areas have been really quiet for some time. We see a 3.5 listed here in Oklahoma, which is minimal compared to the swarms we normally see. And as you can tell, they list absolutely zero earthquakes when it comes to Yellowstone. And we know there's constant quakes there on a daily basis, no matter if they're ones or whatever they are, they're happening. Looking here in the Midwest, just here in the past 7 hours, we've had a 2.2 pop up in Georgia, a 2.4 in Tennessee on this line. Now, we've been seeing an uptick in these smaller quakes like this. Many people don't pay attention to them because they're so small, but there's been more happening around this area, specifically around the New Madrid. And in some of the more recent earthquake updates I've done, I've talked about just that, the keyhole here, which is called the New Madrid. Right there. They've hit right there on that land island many times, which this, I call it a land island because it's unique. You'll see that this is Tennessee down here, and Missouri dips down and surrounds this whole area, but yet this land in between is Kentucky. And then it's surrounded by the river, the water here. So it's connected by land to Tennessee, surrounded by water, and surrounded by Missouri, but yet it's Kentucky. And this is the area that holds the infamous name of New Madrid, where we're overdue in this area. Not to say that you're going to see any quakes of massive magnitude hit anytime soon, but if you're going to see any, I would say you're probably going to see some smaller activity beforehand. Now, back when the big quakes did hit in this area, there were sand geysers that they had noticed, and they had realized somehow the sand was coming up and being ejected and causing these mounds, and they were thinking that maybe it was like natural gas release, methane release. These gases was pushing the earth up and creating these mounds, and they kind of went unnoticed until right up when the quakes hit. It wasn't until afterwards, when the quakes hit and made the Mississippi River flow backwards, that they went back and they looked at all the damage and they said, what are these mounds? And they attributed those mounds to popping up from the release. All right, now we've got an update here, and I'm not so sure. Well, on the quake map here, they're listing this, as you can see, now as a 7-pointer at 100 kilometers deep. And that's all the same quake that it's registering. It's not multiple 7-pointers that just struck in this area. Sometimes that can be confusing for people that are just taking to these earthquake maps. It looks like USGS is stuck with a 7.0 on this reading. Once again, we'll look here at the maps and you can see where it hit here on the global map. And thus far, about 40 minutes after the big quake, we haven't seen any aftershocks yet, and the reports of damage are minimal. I'm not sure if there's any massive cities close to where this hit, although they're saying that it was felt in the capital of Kolkata. Well, India's former capital, should I say. So, 7-pointer to 7.2. The good-sized quake hitting here. I'm going to leave links. I'll keep you guys updated with more information as I come across it, but that's a look at the global quake activity as of right now. This has been Dabu7 with an earthquake update.